Hey everyone, this is Dan with Data Trend. Today is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2016. It's about 2:26 p.m. or so Mountain Time. The market's closed a half hour ago. We're taking a look at a daily chart of the SP 500 index, the SPX, and we had another uneventful day out here. We have another sort of little spinning top doji here. The market closed the day down or off 1.8. So basically off 1.09% off. So essentially unchanged again here for the second day in a row. We pushed up and above after we filled this gap, and since then we've just been kind of drifting sideways in here. The green and the blue lines represent the expiration break-evens for the April 5 CIB. As it sits right now, the upper expiration break-even is up around 2060, the lower is down around 1960, and we've just been kind of sitting in this trade. We got involved back here on, I'm trying to think, what day was this? March 14th or so. So we've been in this trade for a little bit over a week, I think. And it's just been, there's been one adjustment on the upside. And since then, the market's been just kind of drifting. If we do get a little bit of a pullback, at least even towards the 10-day simple moving average, we're going to be in a pretty nice position. And we'll take a look at that here in just a minute. At the same time, if the market continues and pushes up higher, makes it up to the 2065, 2070 level to test this high, maybe that's up around 2080. It's going to be really extended, but the potential for that does exist. So we'll just be closing out the lowest butterfly and moving it up. Let's go ahead and drop down to the 65-minute time frame. So we've been talking about this for quite some time now, but essentially the market continues to just exhibit this pattern of higher highs and higher lows on the shorter term time frames. The market did pull back into that 2040 level early this morning, and from there it found some buyers. It pushed up. It actually made a new high, and from there it sold off in the end of the day. And it didn't really have a meaningful sell-off, but it did have a fast rally up here higher, at least on an intraday basis. But it does seem like the market is just kind of drifting around. If we get a break down and below this 2040 level, I'm going to be looking for the market to pull back initially at least to this 2030 and then maybe even a little deeper to 2025. And 2025 is around the 10-day simple moving average, so a little bit of a pullback to there wouldn't be surprising. And the market could continue this uptrend even after doing something like that. Or we could all be proven wrong and the market might even just head directly higher from where it sits right now. We just don't know. Our goal is really not to predict what the market does, it's just to react and change the position as it plays out. So if we hop over and take a look at the trade, this is the position as of the close today. I'll go ahead and close up right there. So we have the two put butterflies here. One is centered around 1990 and the other has a split strike centered at 2020, 2025. And then there are two corresponding SPY calls, the 202.50 and the 205. And this is the position as it sits at the close today with the market at 2049.80. The delta is negative 9.42. There's no gamma. Theta is 17.59. Vega is negative 54.83. And the open loss is about $5. So we're still just basically hovering around break even right now. This is getting closer to expiration. We're at 38 days to expiration, so the trade's going to begin to decay more quickly. And if we do get that slight pullback, to that 2030 level we were talking about, we'll have some options here to lock in the profit, flatten out the T+0 line even more. I've been kind of slow to adjust this trade, and I've just been letting it sit kind of short delta. And part of the reason that I've done that is just that, when we look at price here, on the shorter term time frames, it seems like the market pushed up and it kind of is holding this level, but it's really not, it doesn't have a lot of upward momentum, I guess you'd say. And so I've been just a little bit slower to make any sort of an adjustment, because any adjustment I make at this point to flatten out this T+0 line means that if we do have a pullback, which I think the potential for that certainly exists, if we do have that sort of even a minor pullback, we're going to give up some of the profit potential on the downside. One of the adjustments that I was looking at yesterday was to roll up one of these 1990 to 1995 short puts. Another thing we could do is if we did have a quick pullback down to that 2030 level, something like that, we could roll down this upper long from 2085 down to 2080, and we'd flatten out the T+0 line a bit. If we were to do that with the market at 2030, obviously we get a bigger credit for this, and so the T+0 line would be actually even a little bit flatter because it'd be slightly more above zero. But for the time being, I'm just kind of sitting in this position, and I am getting a little bit short delta in here, but I'm not quite ready to do anything yet. Certainly if the market gets up and above and hits this 2060 level, we're going to have to adjust the position higher. But for the time being, I'm just sort of, essentially letting the market prove itself to us. And, for now at least, that's been working out. We'll see what happens. It's just kind of been this choppy drift up here from what do we call that, 2057 down to about 2040. So in kind of a 1% range, the market's been chopping about. But if we do get a little bit of a breakdown below this, we'll have some better options, and it doesn't even need to be that significant of a break. So at any rate, tomorrow morning we have crude oil inventories. It doesn't really matter to me one way or another. What that means is that we should just be aware that the market has the potential to move. It does seem like the equities have been following around crude. That's been pretty well documented everywhere, so I won't really even talk about it other than to say it exists. And the potential for change does exist in the morning. So we'll see what happens. That's all I have for tonight. I hope it helps. Not much happened out there today, but if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, info@thetatrend.com, and thanks for watching.